All right, it's time to talk luxury. I know, twist my arm. But I think it's important to understand what's happening around the country as it relates to Sarasota so we can kind of have a bigger picture of where the buyers are coming from, where the sellers might be moving to, the migration inward and outward. So we're going to cover that, a little bit of a synopsis of the North American luxury market in today's video. So please stay tuned. So every single month, I get a luxury report for the United States and Canada. And the reason I get this report is because I'm an exclusive member to the Institute. And as a member of the Institute, I am what's called a CLHMS designee, Certified Luxury Home Marketing Specialist. I have earned that designation and very proud to be associated with all of these very, very elite agents, actually from around the world. And in order to qualify to be a member, you have to actually prove that you've sold in the upper tier of your local market. So it's a very distinguished group, very top tier agent group. And I'm very, very proud to be associated with all of these fine realtors, many of which are right here in Sarasota as well. And so every month they put out this very detailed luxury report just to give us an idea of what's happening, not just in our own background, but in comparison to other luxury markets, and what are the trends of the luxury buyer, trends of the luxury seller, what can we expect, what can we foresee, what are coming up in the trends. I think that's always fun to see and hear, and kind of what's going on with the supply and demand, because I think that it's great to talk about everything that's happening in Sarasota, of course, but I think other feeder markets are also indicative of what is to happen here in our market, because a lot of times trends will start in California and kind of work their way eastward. But, I think it's great that we have something to compare to, and it's a very in-depth report. I'm just going to go over some of the highlights that I think are important and I think you'll want to hear about. So even though we're talking luxury market, the same principles are going to apply, right? So it's pricing, days on the market, supply, demand, list price to selling price, price per square foot, location, location, location. All these factors are the same. It's just we might have to add a couple zeros, right? So first and foremost, as you might have guessed, the luxury buyer tends to be less influenced by outside influences, I guess, outside economic or political happenings in the world, I guess. And so in summary, for last year, it was kind of stagnant. And now in February, we're starting to see an uptick in the activity for buyers in the luxury segment. New luxury listings are up in that 41 to 46 percentile, lower side for single family homes, a little bit higher for condos. And by the way, the condo market, if you watch my end of the month market update videos, you'll notice that I always make mention of the condos versus home market. So the luxury market is not much different in that it's more volatile over time. So condos, townhomes, villas are generally more volatile in terms of the historic data. So what we like to do when we're comparing a general overall market area, whether it's North America as a general sense or Sarasota as a general sense, we like to look to single family homes because they're just more stable and they're more predictable in terms of where the market is going or has been. So sales are up effective end of December over 23%. So I guess there's more action in the luxury segment. I don't know why that is. I'm going to read more into this report here to tell you, but generally speaking, I would think last year would have been, my first thought would have been last year would be stronger than this year, because this year, as we sit in 2024, is an election year. There's lots going on with, the politics and all that, which I don't need to dive into necessarily. But generally, though, during an election year, sales are generally pretty strong historically. So I guess February, with the increase in sales in that 23 percentile increase as compared to last February 2023. All right, I just learned something new. I guess Cole Banker put out a trend report for 2024 and came up with a new term called the Henry's market, high earners not yet rich. So I guess there's this new segment outside of the millennial segment that is buying luxury properties, but it's not yet consistent to where they can classify this. So like they might be buying much more in one market versus another, and there's not a lot of consistency to it. So I learned something new today for sure. The Henrys are new buyers. One thing that's probably not ever going to change with the affluent is you're always going to want great location, 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 right? I mean, who really doesn't want that? And the affluent have the means to do it. So, COVID changed things a lot, as we all know. One thing that is kind of shifting now after COVID, though, with some of these high tech, like tech companies moving out of big metropolises and into places like Phoenix, Miami, Boston, and kind of different cities like that. So we're seeing an influx of migration from that standpoint and for that reason. But we're also seeing from the luxury report that, these type of buyers are still going to have demand to have second homes in areas that will allow them to decompress, whether you're a mountain person, a more rural person, or a waterfront person. And so another thing that I read in the report too was that some people might be detracted from areas that are more susceptible to climate change in 2024. I mean, and I can see firsthand, I deal a lot on the beaches and beachfront homes, beachfront condos, and the like. So I can understand in seeing with my own eyes how the beach erosion might affect someone's decision, and the impacts that would have fiscally. Another thing not so surprising is the affluent, the luxury market wants the most move-in ready, the most fabulous, of course. But another interesting trend is in the branded residences like the Ritz-Carlton, the St. Regis, both of which we have here in Sarasota. And so they want that white glove service. They want that hotel feel, that the butler service, the car service, service, food deliveries, car deliveries, grocery deliveries, like you name it, that concierge, white glove, very curated service. So if they're only on vacation for a short period of time, they really want to be catered to in that luxury high-end market. And along with that, I would say, of course, amenities. A lot of the ultra wealthy and the luxury buyer segment, whether you're a buyer or seller, really likes their amenities and really, really into health and wellness. So that means the Himalayan salt rooms, massage amenities and services and things of that nature. I think people are very, very much in tune with being healthy and having longevity and just having a peaceful environment and having all of those services catered to them during their stay in their luxury property. Sort of last on this little report here would be smart home technology, privacy, and security. So I recently did a video to update you all on the St. Regis condo hotel. I had a couple of comments in the public comments remarks about people not being, like the public not being able to go to the St. Regis. And frankly, if I were a buyer at the St. Regis with a one bedroom starting at $2.5 million and going way up above 20 million, I think those buyers are paying for privacy. And so, that type of a client fits the mold of what we're talking about, the St. Regis, because it's a branded hotel. They want that 5-star curated white glove service. And if the St. Regis allowed everyone in from the public, is it really going to have that same feel? There's the condo, the owners, and the hotel. So it's two different sections of the St. Regis. And I'm just using that as an example because it's the best and the newest for Sarasota. But they are paying a premium to have that branded name and that service behind it. And so if the public is just kind of intermingled in that, that's not really what they're buying into as like a total overall product. So I think that really very much exudes luxury in Sarasota, of course, alongside the Ritz-Carlton and others here in Sarasota, Florida, just to name a few. I think in summary, the luxury market as a whole is looking for that exclusivity feel, the amenities, that personal touch, that one-on-one, again, I say white glove service. I think that's very consistent in the luxury buyer, that privacy, that solitude. I mean, most of these people probably run companies and they're looking to get away from the hustle and bustle, just want to have a zen environment that's safe and secure, that they can just close up, not worry about it, kind of let their cares, float away into the ocean, when they come to visit their second home. And so we have that to offer here in Sarasota, and I'd love nothing more than to share what we have here in Sarasota for luxury. And if you're looking to move out of the area, I'm happy to help you do that too. And I have such a great network of the Institute agents around the country and around the world that I'd love to put you in touch with. We've got an amazing network of agents that are just so professional, so well in tune with not just the luxury market, but their markets in general. I think that's really important. Whether you're buying luxury or selling luxury or just a regular property, you want to be with an agent that is really very well in tune, not just with their local market, but kind of what's happening around the world and the country, because it kind of gives perspective. And I feel like that's important in today's world to know kind of where people are coming from, the migration in and out, and like why, in order to sort of help people the best that you can. And I think asking people the right questions is very important as an agent. People would appreciate that. And finding out what their lifestyle really is, like what's really the most important to you as a buyer. Again, whether you're a luxury buyer or you're not, everybody has different needs. And I think having your agent really listen to what's important to you, where you need to be near, what's your day-to-day, what do you really care about in your area and the property is really important. So finding an agent is a big step. I've got a bunch of great content, including the NAR settlement, the end of the month market updates. Please watch every month, but I do post twice a week. So I want to keep you guys informed on all the changes happening in the local market. And I've got some great listings coming up. I love your comments. Keep them coming. Whether they're good, bad, and different, I think it's a great platform to voice your opinions. And if you have any ideas of what you'd like for me to bring forth, I'm always open to ideas as well. So again, thank you for subscribing, watching, commenting. Call me, email me, 941-544-7690, or email ShaylaTwitt@gmail.com.